Another week, another list of bad guys, and we'll get to it here in just a few minutes. It is time for Calhoun County's Most Wanted. I'm Chris Wright, your host, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Larry Amerson. Sheriff, it's good to see you.
Good to be here, Chris. Glad to see you got your power tie on again today.
Yeah, we're going bold red, partially because it's football season.
Wonder what color that could stand for.
Roll Tide. The show is about you, the viewers, and the information that you have that you can share with us to help us get the bad guys off the street, and we will get to this week's lineup in a few minutes. But first, Sheriff, how did they do this week?
Well, we had 3 arrests. Y'all were working, get us some more criminals in jail. Thank you very much. 3,181 total to date. Once again, it's still amazing how many folks have been arrested.
Let's talk a little bit something real quick before we get too deep in the show. Let's talk about military surplus equipment. That's been something that's been talked about a lot over the last month or so with some of the things that have happened up in Ferguson, and some people are saying that equipment's not necessary. Why do we want our local law enforcement to have military style equipment? Well, we had an example here in Calhoun County here just in the last week of where some of that equipment came in very handy, didn't it?
We did, Chris. The equipment we get is defensive, and we don't have any offensive things. We used a personnel carrier, for example, in this case, and using that we were able to go into a very densely brushy area to search for the suspect. We know he was armed. We know he had committed a robbery prior to that, so he was at risk. We didn't want our people at risk. Having that equipment allowed us to go in there safely and securely, and ultimately it pushed him out so we could locate him.
Yeah, some people that didn't know the circumstances think, well, that's overkill bringing in this big, they want to call it a tank. It doesn't have a gun on it, it's not a tank, but it's this personnel carrier, but it's able to go through the brush. If you didn't have that, you would be sending people in almost defenseless into brush against somebody who's got a weapon and could be just waiting around the next tree to get them.
Absolutely. This guy was armed. He was prepared to use force against us, and unfortunately it didn't have a good result, but no law enforcement officers were hurt. And had we gone in there, we would have been crawling literally on our hands and knees through this brush, and we would have come face to face. Didn't have anything to take cover behind. You didn't have any way to escape if there was a problem. It was a very dangerous situation.
And I'll go ahead and say it, if you don't believe that our police officers and sheriff's deputies deserve to have that kind of protection, shame on you, okay?
And it's the same technology. Military guys wear body armor. We wear body armor in certain circumstances. We wear helmets. It's just a defensive mechanism to protect our people and allow us to protect you.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations, Sheriff Amerson, John Garlick, and Matthew Wade, my friends, for 10 years of Calhoun County's Most Wanted and over 3,000 arrests. Way to go, guys.
Congratulations, Calhoun County's Most Wanted and Crime Stoppers, for 10 great years. And thank you to the citizens of Calhoun County for putting 3,000 people behind the bars. Yay!
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
Amazing Grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead,
drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston with Family Links. And in lieu of the parenting tip this week, I'd like to share some exciting news and events that are going on with Family Links. A very popular program entitled Parent Project. It's a 10-week course for parents of strong-willed or out-of-control children and adolescents. The course is designed to help parents become proactive before the difficult years. Parents are taught prevention, identification, and intervention strategies. This course is not only a course designed to target trouble behaviors, but parents can get involved and be proactive and learn these skills before the behaviors begin as a preventative measure. We're currently signing parents up for the fall classes, and there are still openings that are available in the 2 classes. We're currently offering 2 different times and 2 different locations. One class is held on Tuesday nights from 6 to 9 at the Career Tech Center in Jacksonville, and the other class is on Saturday morning from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock at Sachs Middle School. So how do you get registered, you may ask? Contact Family Links at 256-820-5911 and tell them you want to sign up for Parent Project, and someone will walk you through the registration process. So for more information on this program and other parenting programs, contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Anthony Russell. Mr. Russell, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on child support and distribution of a controlled substance. And take a look, if you will, at Lorez Howell. Ms. Howell, last known to be living in Talladega. She's wanted for theft of property first. And this is Franklin Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation violation on possession of a forged instrument second. And meet April Keene. Miss Keene, last known to be living in Weaver. She's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of a prescription drug. And this is Wendy Alsabrook. Miss Alsabrook, last known to be living in Jacksonville. She's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of prescription drugs. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Chad Stanley. Mr. Stanley, last known to be living in East Aboga. He's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of prescription drugs. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
We'll get back to the bad guys in a few minutes, but right now we want to talk about the good guys. I'm glad that we always get to do that on this show, talk about some good guys instead of just bad guys.
It's amazing how many wonderful things are happening in our county that we get to talk about.
And today we are joined by Rita Flegel and Lori Floyd, who we have met before, talking about some different things, but now you're here to talk about The Right Place. And first off, I want to say thank you for naming it after me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, what is The Right Place?
The Right Place is an agency that's been around for a couple of years, and we were born out of the need for decent, safe, affordable housing here in Calhoun County and surrounding areas.
And people think that we don't have homeless in Calhoun County, but we do. And I know that, do they still have the tent city up behind Kmart? Is that still there?
It moves around depending on time of year, and in the summer you have less sort of grouped people. But yes, we still have tent cities. We have people living in their cars, very common in our area. The Homeless Coalition of Northeast Alabama conducts a point-in-time study every January, and that's just a 24-hour period that we go out and try to find as many homeless people as we can. So we visit soup kitchens and tent cities or whatever we can find, and JSU has been great to support us in that, and they send social work students every year to help us find folks. And this last year we had about 390 homeless people that we found in a 24-hour period. Now some of those are in shelter. Many of them live in cars or in all kinds of situations, as you can imagine.
Right here in Calhoun County.
Correct.
Now, Lori, you were telling me off camera earlier when you got ready to start up the Right Place, one of the reasons that you did it, you both had dealings with an agency where people would come in with AIDS and be serviced, and they would be able to get some housing, and people would actually come in and hope that they tested positive so they could get housing?
Unfortunately, they saw it as the only way that they could get the shelter and the needs that they needed. And we kind of saw it as a gap. I mean, it's sad to know that you're already struggling and you're homeless, and now you're hoping that you have a deadly disease that will give you a place to stay. And so there was a group of us that decided that we would try to see what we could do to kind of bridge this gap, because it was obviously a needed service in the area.
Now, Sheriff, that shocks me. It shocks a lot of people. I'm sure you've seen that in your own works.
And these folks, they're living on the edge. They're overlooked, as you mentioned that, and we see it in the jail environment. We have people come through our jail who are in that situation. They didn't have a place to live when they came in, and they're not going to have a place when they go out. And if you're dealing with a mentally challenged person, who's going to help them get their medication, help make sure they take it, and have that secure environment? Huge problem.
All right, so Rita, I know one of the things you're hoping to do with the Right Place is not just provide some emergency housing, but also help people move beyond that.
Right, so there's a movement nationally away from the shelter kind of mentality or transitional housing mentality to permanent housing. And we're looking specifically at permanent supportive housing, and that means somebody who's coming out of the jail, who has a disability, needs supportive services, could enter housing and have supportive services wrapped around them. So it would be part of their housing. And that's the only thing that seems to work in keeping people stable, is to have a case manager, have somebody that works with them on a plan across different factors of their life. So they would have a plan on how are you going to stay healthy, how are you going to stay drug-free, how are you going to treat your mental illness, or whatever your individual circumstances are that have kept you in that revolving door of homelessness and jail and ER. That's what we're trying to do, is provide the long-term solution, not just the 3 hots and a cot kind of mentality. Really work on the issues that have led you to that point.
All right, so a couple of years into the Right Place,
Yeah.
Where are we on your journey?
Well, we're really happy that we have opened our first apartment. So just recently we had our ribbon cutting on a duplex apartment in Anniston, and it is specifically that kind of housing. So it's 2 2-bedroom units. And to qualify, a person or household would need to be low income, so 50% of average median income or lower, and somebody in the household needs to have a disability that requires supportive services.
So what is defined as low income in Calhoun County? I know it's different in different places.
Well, for the 50% range that we're talking about, different programs have different levels. So for this, we're looking at really very low income, so 50% or less. For a household of 1 person, it would be $18,000 or less. So it adds, for every person in your household, the number increases slightly.
Yeah, and that's a pretty low number. I know, Sheriff, I just saw recently where in Berkeley, California, the city council just passed if you earn $34,000 or less, you qualify for free marijuana if you need it medically. So now we're talking about $18,000 for housing in Calhoun County,
Correct.
Alabama.
Correct. And we see so many people that don't make that. So for somebody in our area that's on an SSI disability payment, so they get a check every month because of their disability, a lot of those folks are making under $1,000 a month. So you can imagine, if you make $1,000 a month, how can you afford rent and all the other things that you need to survive?
You can't.
You can't. And HUD considers affordable rent to be 30% of your income or less toward rent and utilities. So if you're making $1,000, you've got to pay your rent and utilities for $300. So it's very difficult to get that kind of affordability, but our duplex is based on that model. So people will pay 30% of their income to live in this apartment and get the supportive services. It's the thing that will make the difference in their life and help them remain stable.
All right, well, we need to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the specific things that you've got coming up. I know you've got some things that you're very excited about, so we'll talk about those in just a few moments when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations on Calhoun County Most Wanted and Crime Stoppers for 10 years on the air and 3,000 arrests.
Congratulations to Calhoun County's Most Wanted, 10 years on the air, and the Crime Stoppers for their 3,000 arrests. Great job, guys. Keep up the good work.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead,
Drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch,
like me.
I once was.
homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost.
But now I am.
sober.
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Dennis Gaddy. Mr. Gaddy, last known to be living in Ohatchee, he's wanted for failure to pay child support, the face of a deadbeat dad. And meet Ray Christopher. Mr. Christopher, last known to be living in Jacksonville, he's wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence, third harassment. And this is Chandra Smith. Miss Smith, last known to be living in Jacksonville, she's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana, second, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Rynan Haish. Miss Haish, last known to be living in East Daboga, she's wanted for failure to appear on allowing dogs to run at large. And meet Jordan Watley. Mr. Watley, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana, second. And last up for our lineup this week, Kevin Keisner. Mr. Keisner, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know where these folks are, give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414.
We'll have the Calhoun County Crime Watch segment, the Crime Stoppers segment coming up. Lost my train of thought there for a moment. But anyway, that's coming up. Also, our Crazy Criminal of the Week. But right now we're talking about housing and the right place. Rita and Lori are telling us about some of the issues that people in Calhoun County are facing and some of the things that you're doing at the right place to help those individuals. And it's not just providing housing for people who don't have any housing. It's also helping to make other people safe in the housing that they do have, right?
That's right. So a couple of programs we want to talk about are Veterans Home Repairs, and we also have Safe at Home. And the Veterans Home Repair, some of you may have heard about that already. For people that are veterans or the widow or spouse of a veteran and have low income, and that's at the 80% level instead of the 50% level, so the income limit's a little bit higher. We can come in and do some home repairs for you, like a new roof, HVAC. The idea here is that people are making it month to month on their income, but they don't have money in reserve to do those kind of home repairs to make them safe and affordable or accessible. So we've done quite a few ramps, widening doorways, bathroom repairs to make them accessible for our veteran households.
And Sheriff, I know we have a lot of veterans that watch this show, and a lot of them may be thinking that they don't qualify, but they might actually. The income levels, we can't get in, it depends on how many people you got in the house and all this, but if you're struggling, you should call and find out if you qualify.
Absolutely, and the ability, the amount of money they're talking about to repair your home, that's a big expense, as you mentioned. So call and find out, because folks, these are not really, really low numbers. These are what you might find in a typical single income household.
Sure.
A lot of people in Calhoun County would qualify for that. Yes. And also, we want to keep people safe. Obviously, the sheriff is doing the best he can to protect people against criminals, but we also have things to protect ourselves against from, like fire.
Right. We received funding through the Community Foundation, and through that we are working with the Anniston Fire Department to do a program called Safe at Home. And this will allow you to receive a smoke detector and a fire extinguisher, and we'll have a class where you can go and bring your children and all the members in the household to find out how to protect yourself, have maybe a plan on how to get out of the home if it's on fire, how to use the smoke detectors and the fire extinguishers, And then we will actually go and install them in your home once you've completed the class. So it's not just a matter of, I don't know how to put it up or I don't know where to put it. We're going to kind of give you the guidance of how to keep you and your family safe.
Now, a lot of families don't have fire extinguishers, but a lot of families that do, there are people in that family, maybe all of them, that don't remember where it is.
Right.
And don't feel comfortable in using it. They've never had to use it before, so when they pick it up, that's the first time they're trying to figure out, what do I do with it?
Exactly. And so we'll be able to show them the safest places and the places they should put them. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, fire safety is important to them, but if it's $20 for an extinguisher or $20 worth of food, they're going to pick the food over the extinguisher. So this just gives us an opportunity to kind of put some things into place that other families may not have the opportunity to have.
Yeah. The number one thing for fire safety is don't live next to me. I've had 2 neighbors with house fires. Wow. We managed to keep one of them under wrap. We hosed it down and kept it close enough so that the fire department could get there and keep it from going full blaze. But
well, and we understand with this training, people will get an opportunity to practice using the fire extinguisher on a barrel fire.
And that's a great idea, because if you've never used one, you think, I'm going to stand really far back, and the extinguisher doesn't work if you're way back. You've got to be close to do some good. Is this limited by geography? So can people outside of Anniston participate?
Well, unfortunately, right now, the only funding we have is for the city of Anniston. So you have to have an address ending with an Anniston zip code. We're hoping maybe in the future we can expand it depending on how well it goes, but right now it is just in the city of Anniston.
Well, it covers a lot of areas, but I mentioned that for another reason we write a report for fires in the rural areas, and we went to 40 house fires in the last 12 months. And wow. Generally in the rural areas, you're more likely to have a total loss than you are in town because just of the geography.
True.
So there's a big need out in rural Calhoun County for that.
Yeah, well, we'll see how this one goes, and hopefully we can expand it in the future.
All right, well, we've got just 1 minute left. So is there anything else that we haven't talked about that we need people to know?
Well, the Right Place has big plans for developing additional housing units and additional programs into the future. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we do accept donations, and we do have some volunteer opportunities. If anybody is interested in more information, they can call us at 256-238-6231. We would love to work with you.
We've got the phone number there on the screen, so go ahead and call that. Rita, Lori, thank you very much. Looks like you're off to a great start, and I know we've got big things coming from the Right Place.
Yes, thank you.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Stay tuned right here, and we will be back with our Crazy Criminal of the Week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations to Calhoun County's Crime Stoppers and the Most Wanted program that airs on the TV all the time, and for being on the air for 10 years, and also for arresting over 3,000 people. Great job, guys.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch like me.
I once was.
Homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost.
But now I am.
sober,
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put on your deer stalkers and help our investigators with these cases. First up this week on September 3rd, this residence on Possum Trot Road in Piedmont was broken into. Damage was caused to the residence, but nothing has been reported stolen at this time. And on September 2nd, this residence on Short Street in Oxford was broken into. They got away with an electric fireplace, other electronics, and a bicycle. And sometime between August 28th and September 2nd, this residence on Highway 9 in Anniston was broken into. Nothing has been reported stolen at this time. And on September 6th, this residence on Martin Luther King Drive in Hobson City was broken into. They got away with a PlayStation console and a television. And sometime on September 5th, this residence on Valley Cove Lane in Piedmont was broken into. Nothing has been reported stolen at this time. And between September 1st and September 4th, this residence on 6 Foot Road in Ohatchee was broken into. They got away with furniture and appliances. And between September 4th and September 5th, the steel backpack blower, Echo backpack blower, and 2 steel hedge trimmers were stolen from this residence on Liberty Lane in Anniston. And between September 3rd and September 6th, a vacant mobile home located on Jamback Road in Anniston was broken into. They got away with a bucket of Cool Seal, a bucket of Gold Bond joint compound, and a roll of joint tape. And between September 4th and September 5th, this residence on Livingston Circle in Hobson City was broken into. Electronics were stolen from there. And last up on our caseload this week, on August 21st, a white male driving an early 1990s model Chevrolet truck pulled up at a residence on School Cutoff Road in Jacksonville and loaded a Murray push mower onto the truck. When he was confronted by the homeowner, he jumped into the truck and left, traveling north on Williams Road. And that's it for your Crime Stopper cases for this week. If you have any information on these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
The Crazy Criminal of the Week is sponsored by Systems by Design, Simply Smart Security. Find out how they can protect your home or business at systemsbydesign.org.
A few weeks ago, we had District Attorney Brian McVeigh on the show, and we allowed him to tell his own crazy criminal story. And he talked about the guy, I believe it was up in Piedmont, that found somebody trying to steal things from his home, held him at gunpoint, and made him cut his grass while they were waiting for the police to show up.
Yes.
Love that story, and apparently somebody has heard about it that's on the other side of the law, because we just had somebody who was caught by the homeowners trying to steal stuff out of their bedroom or their living room. They were up in the bedroom, came down and found him there. Fortunately, they had a gun with them, so they held him at gunpoint, and he said, "Hey, if you'll let me go, I'll cut your grass."
A little late for the offer, but
yeah,
appreciate the homeowner being prepared and knowing what to do.
Yeah, they did decline that particular offer, but I'm sure you've had some crazy offers over your career.
It's amazing after you catch them how remorseful they are.
Right.
Before then, they're not remorseful at all.
Not doing anything wrong, you know?
No. But I like it. I appreciate a creative homeowner willing to do something, and appreciate a prepared homeowner who can catch a criminal and hold them for us.
Absolutely. All right, we are about out of time. If you missed this week's lineup, just go to the Facebook page and you can see the lineup there. And also you can go to tv24.tv and watch this program in its entirety once they get it uploaded onto YouTube. And we will see you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.